At least you get in the fights. At least you get in the fights. At least you get in the fights.
I put belt to ass, and you can see that's what I do.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I had a really popular tweet that caught a little traction on Twitter, and I figured, you know what? I should make a video based around that tweet. So as you guys saw in the beginning of this video, I've had a lot of thoughts about Dana White and Zuffa Boxing entering the fold into our sport. I think there are going to be some positives, but for the most part, I'm being honest with you guys, I see a lot of negatives coming from this whole situation. I think they're going to fragment the sport more than it already is. And I think you're going to have a lot of fights that don't happen because you're going to have some really good fighters that sign with, Zuffa Boxing, and you're going to have some fighters that want to fight for the alphabet belts, right? So I think we're going to lose out on some fights. But what I really think is going to happen, truthfully, I think nothing new is under the sun. I think nothing is new under the sun. I think TKO Boxing and Zuffa Boxing, I feel like they're going to be able to sign that mid-level talent, mid-level fighters, lower-level fighters, people like that. But I think they're going to have some problems securing the top-level guys, the guys that are already, creme de la creme, top-shelf fighters. I believe that. And I think in certain weight classes, because maybe for certain weight classes, Zuffa Boxing will be able to secure big names. But I think you're going to have some weight classes where you guys look at the top 5 rankings of Zuffa Boxing and who the champion is, because they're going to have their own belt. And it's going to look like minor league boxing, right? So like an example I can give you guys of that is right now, pending any future signings they may have, 154 looks like that, because they have right now, they have Callum Walsh and they have Vito Milnecki, right? So I don't know if they're going to even have a 154, but those guys are in and around that weight class. That's going to be a big fight in the TKO side of things. Milnecki versus Callum Walsh. I think that's a fight we're going to wind up getting, and they're going to have to do better than that, because the way I see it, guys, I see a scenario where I think certain fighters in certain weight classes are gonna start ducking fights. They're gonna sign contracts. They're gonna go to Zuffa Boxing, and they're gonna hide out over there. I really think that's gonna happen, and it's not even a matter of me thinking it's gonna happen. It's already happening. Like it's happening right now as we speak. Vito Milnecki, right? I'll use him as an example. Like, all respect to him. I respect any fighter on their journey who puts in that pain and blood, sweat, and tears. But let's be real. There's levels in boxing. Not everybody's a great fighter. Not everybody's destined to be champion, right? And Vito Milnecki, I think he's at middleweight. I could be wrong. He's at 54 middleweight, or he competes at both. But he's not no creme de la creme fighter, and he's gonna lose to more than likely. He'll probably go in as an underdog against everybody ranked in the top 5 of his weight class and all the champions. He's not beating them guys, right? So what has he done? He signed with Zuffa Boxing because they probably gave him a good deal, right? They probably promised him a lot of things, and he won't have to fight certain guys, right? And he could actually be, instead of just being one of the guys in the weight class, he could actually be marketed as a star, right? And let's call a spade a spade. I'm not into talking about race and all those kind of things, but it does exist, and it many times is a driving factor for certain things that do happen in our sport. Like Dana White, he's trying to market boxing to a whole new demographic, the UFC audience and things like that. So he Vito Milnecki and Callum Walsh, they're white guys. So I think Dana White's gonna have a new approach to the sport, and we'll see how it goes. But what I will say, and what I would highly advise for Zuffa Boxing, is that they find a way to get some marquee names signed, because in my own personal life, I know 7 fighters in real life, like that I have in my phone, that I talk to regularly, who are already signed to TKO Boxing. And with all due respect to those 7 fighters, some of them have high potential, some of them are faded veterans, but either way, none of them are big names, and none of them are gonna put Zuffa Boxing over the top, in my opinion. Right now, or any time in the near future. So they're gonna have to, really find a way to get these guys, the big names, the guys that really move the needle to sign with them. And obviously we know money talks and bullshit walks, so money is going to be what the driving factor. But for some guys, I don't think it's just all about money. I think it's also going to be, what kind of fights can you get them. So if you're a 154, 160 pounder, and the best fights you can get are Callum Walsh and Vito Mielnicki, then maybe TKO boxing isn't the most attractive option. But I can see it now because it's happening. You're gonna get fighters who are ranked like 10 through 15, guys under the current system that wouldn't get big fights unless they became the mandatory challengers, and they're gonna go sign at Zuffa Boxing. And some of these guys who just don't have the talent, that aren't the goods, they're gonna go hide out over there, and they're gonna be marketed as the best. Because Dana White's like, yeah, every fight's gonna be undefeated versus undefeated, the best versus the best. So you're gonna see Dana White hyping up Vito Mielnicki and Callum Walsh as the best versus the best. Which, if you guys know boxing, you guys know that those guys are at best solid guys. They're not anything special. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, just wanted to get my little thoughts on that because I think it is interesting. What do you guys think? What do you guys make of it? Do you guys think Zuffa Boxing is going to be the premier promotional company in boxing? Are they going to take over the sport? Or will it kind of be like a place for certain fighters to go hide out and duck fights? I think that's going to happen because it's already happening with Vito Mielnicki. And on top of that, for like these Eastern European guys and Central Asian guys that don't make a lot of money but can fight, like let's say like a guy like Otabek Komatov, I feel like Zuffa Boxing might be a good home for him because let's be real, he's not gonna fight. He's not getting none of these featherweight fights under the current structure. So we'll see. I think they're gonna wind up snagging up a lot of these Central Asian and Eastern European guys that can't speak English, that don't have a big fan base, and he loves those guys in UFC. Those guys do very well in UFC. So let's see if he can kind of market those guys in boxing, and if I'll tell you this, if he can do that, if he can market those guys in boxing and do well, then he's gonna have a chance to really turn a corner and do something new. So those are my overall thoughts on like Zuffa Boxing in the boxing marketplace right now, and just some raw thoughts about the situation right now. Obviously, my thoughts can change as time progresses, but these are my thoughts as of right now on this particular day at this particular moment in time. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe. You won't be disappointed.